to our labor and delivery. We arrived to the hospital last night around like 4 o'clock, and right now it is 7:30 the next morning. So yesterday we got admitted. I had already done my COVID test, so the results had come back negative, so they were able to just put me in the bed right away. And then we started the induction process. We used like this catheter that's like a cervical catheter that they pump fluid into, and it kind of balloons both sides of your cervix. That way it just kind of like promotes dilation. And so they did that, and that worked great. That's out now. So we went from like 1.5 centimeters from last night, from when we first got here, to now we are like, what was it, 3.5 centimeters?
Yep, just under 4.
Yeah, just under 4 centimeters. So that's really good news. And then they went ahead and hooked me up to Pitocin, like right afterwards, to kind of get the contractions going. So that's exciting. So that just started happening. And if you show them the monitor, you can kind of see the green line is those are the contractions, and the blue line is the baby's heartbeat. So you can see like I had a contraction right there. I was having some last night, and they were a lot more intense than they are right now, I think because of that little balloon thing, but I'm feeling really good right now. The worst part was getting the IV.
But you got some really good rest though last night.
Yeah, that's true. That was like, oh my gosh, that was so good. They gave me Epidural, and usually I don't even take like Advil or anything. I'm so like anti-medicine, whatever. So anyways, I took the Epidural, and thank God I did.
Yeah, you got some good sleep.
I slept so good. Yeah, I slept for like 5 hours, 6 hours off and on, and it was really nice. And all the nurses are so nice, and they let us sleep, and yeah, so that was good news. I woke up feeling rested, and we're gonna have our breakfast soon. So we'll show you guys that too.
Chicken Parmesan. Not too shabby.
Looks pretty good.
They've been taking care of us.
Hi.
Crushing it.
You said the water broke. There was a lot of water.
Yeah, there was. And it was good fluid.
Yeah. It felt like a really big relief. Like when it all came out, it was like, whoa. I don't feel like a watermelon anymore. Now I just feel like a cantaloupe. This is good.
You're doing awesome, honey.
Yeah, I'm just trying to bring the contractions on and get dilated.
You're doing awesome.
What are we at to now with the Pitocin?
I think 12.
Oh, at 12. So what time is it now? It's 1:15.
1:15. Started at 7,
Yeah.
I believe.
Did we?
Yep.
Or earlier?
Well, it's Pitocin at 7.
Oh, sorry, the Pitocin.
Yep. Yep.
And now it's 1:15. Yeah, they're starting to get more intense. So that's good.
Yeah, and you're doing so amazing, honey.
Ooh, yeah, now that the water's broke, it's definitely.
You can feel it?
Pressure.
All right.
Okay.
See ya.
Hi guys. It's almost 2 o'clock, and my contractions are definitely getting way more intense. So I'm utilizing the ball. Johnner's pushing on my hips, which is helping a lot. We're listening to music, relaxing music. They're gonna keep the Pitocin at 12, but they might lower it, which is good, which is fine with me. Yeah, so we'll keep you guys updated.
You're glowing, honey.
Oh, thank you. We're at 10 milliunits per hour now. She lowered it because the contractions are getting so intense.
And they're close together. And you can kind of see there.
They're getting closer and more intense.
And then that one, after she lowered it from 12, you could see it was a little longer in between.
So I decided to get the epidural. And I feel a million trillion times better. Hi guys. So now it is it 2 days after the last time we
Yep.
talked to you guys? So
2 days after the birth.
2 days after the birth. So since we talked to you last, 2 days. So today is Thursday, July 30th? Wow, okay. It's been a time warp since this baby was born. So when we last talked to you guys, things were really starting to pick up and with my contractions, and they were getting really gnarly. After they broke my water, the contractions started coming faster and like closer together, and they were like, I could breathe through them for sure. And Johnner was like amazing. He was pressing on my hips like every single time, and that was like, I don't know what I would have done if he couldn't have pressed on my hips. But anyways, so after a certain point, there was like no break in between the contractions, and I don't know if it was because of the Pitocin or because of the break in the water, a combination of the both, or that's just how labor is, because this is my first time. But at one point, John, what did I say?
You're like, I need an epidural. You grab my arm.
Yeah. Because I was like, there were points when I was having contractions where I was like, babe, I don't know if I can do this. Like, this is intense. And I told him, like, I'm not even going to tell you I want one unless I really want one, because I really didn't want to have one, But I needed the epidural. Oh my God. Okay. So thankfully I got it like right away. Everybody was like, okay, so the anesthesiologist came up here and he was amazing and he did it so quick and fast, and I'm like so afraid of needles, and I was like, did not even care. It didn't barely even hurt, honestly, and you don't have to see it because it's in your back, and so it really wasn't that big of a deal. The IV was like way worse. And so I got the epidural, and then I could relax. Oh my God, it was like this warm, like wave of like comfort. I don't even know how to describe it. And my legs got kind of numb. And anyways, I got the epidural. I got some time to catch up and relax, and I guess my body got to relax because then I wasn't dilating anymore. Like right when they gave me the epidural, I was like 6 centimeters, and the midwife came and checked me 3 hours after I got the epidural, and I had not progressed at all. So she came in and spoke with me and let me know, if things don't pick up, we're going to have to give you a C-section. And so that is something I really did not at all want to do. And so that was like, okay, I gotta no more relaxing. I gotta sit up, and unfortunately after you get an epidural, you can't get out of bed. So I was bed bound, and so I was just laying on my side, but I asked is it okay if I sit up cross-legged, and they didn't know if I would be able to do it, and anyways I did. So I sat like that for an hour, and I could feel pressure on my cervix. And I hit the medicine a couple more times, mellow out the intensity, and it helped a lot. And then she came and checked me, the midwife came and checked me again an hour and a half after, finding that I had made no progression at all, and I had fully dilated to 10 centimeters within an hour and a half, just from sitting up. I think just from the gravity of sitting up, honestly.
Yeah, also, it's crazy after the epidural sets in, you see how much pain she's in, and then the epidural sets in, but the body is still contracting. So on the monitor, you can still see the contractions charting, every minute and a half, and she's having really strong contractions. But like she said, she went from 6 to 10 and a half, but you could see that her contractions were, every minute and a half. Yeah, she was shaking. The body, she couldn't feel it, but her body was still working really hard. But yeah, so thankfully she got to 10 centimeters, and then took away that worry.
Within 20-30 minutes, they wanted me to start practice pushing. So I did. Anyways, it took almost 3 hours. 2 hours and 45 minutes of pushing to get the baby out. And let me tell you, the epidural did not help at that point. Because I guess like it only like travels so far down your spine, your body, and it does not go where you need it to go when you're pushing, I guess. And so, yeah, some women are really lucky and only have to push for like 30 minutes and, you know, no big deal. Yeah, and I don't know if it took me longer because I got the epidural. Started getting more and more intense, and I was getting exhausted, and I just felt like I kind of needed to squat or like get off of the bed and stuff. So she put a bar up in the bed and let me kind of like bear down every time I had a contraction. So Johnner would help me. My like right leg was like totally numb pretty much, so he would help me with my right leg, just position it where it needed to go. And then
we'd pull you up to the bar,
Yep.
and then she would hang on the bar and squat down, and then when the contraction
Yep.
started building, she would start her first push.
Yep. And so, anyways, long story short, the baby came out the way that I wanted him to come out, but I definitely doubted myself, and I was like, I cannot do this. Like, there were moments where I was like, I never want to have another baby again. Like, this was a terrible idea. How do women do this? Like, I should have had the C-section. Like, I made a huge mistake. Like, this is like, oh my God. It's like, it was the scariest thing ever that's ever happened to my body for sure. But it didn't feel like my leg was getting cut off or something. It just was like, that I don't know. This is gnarly. And so anyways, the baby came out. And as soon as the baby came out, I was like, okay, I could do this a million times again. And we didn't know the gender, and it is a boy. So I asked Johnner, because we both wanted him to announce the gender, you know. So he came out, and I was just, you know, talking to him right away, telling him I loved him. And
He was so alert.
Oh my God, right away his eyes were open. Like, this is the first time his eyes have been closed, honestly. Like, the only time his eyes are closed is when he is asleep. Which makes sense, I guess. He's not asleep very often. But anyway, so I asked John, what is the gender? And he said a boy. And at first I didn't see anything between his legs, so I was like, oh, it's a girl. But he said it's a boy, and I like immediately was like, oh my God, because I thought it's been a boy since before we even were pregnant, and that's a long story, but I just was like, oh my God, I've known you like the whole time, you know, I've known you, it's been you all along. Yeah, it was just like, we did skin to skin for like how long?
I'd say at least like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Full.
and I started feeling bad for John because I wanted him to get some baby time, but I'm not kidding you, like this baby was just like, his eyes were like saucers, just like glued to me, like looking at me, like studying my face, and then, you know, he kind of looked around and stuff, but I think that, you know, when I was talking to him, we both tried to just talk to him right away to comfort him because they recognize your voice. And so I think that helped, and it helped him just like stay right on me. He was like a camera lens, just like glued to me. It was really cute and sweet. And then what happened after that?
Well, I mean, they came in and took the testing, and he weighed 8 pounds, 4.8 ounces.
8 pounds, 4.8.
He measured 21.5 inches, and his head size was 38 centimeters.
Yeah, that's why it took 3 hours.
You guys do the math?
Yeah, you dilate to 10 centimeters.
But no, Alex was an absolute champion. She really did such a great job throughout the whole
Thank you. I tried to stay positive.
labor.
You know?
Yeah, no, babe, you were awesome.
Like Native American flute, and I was like holding my crystals and my essential oils, and
The nurses were so awesome, so encouraging.
best nurses ever. But honestly, nothing can prepare you for that intensity of like that. I don't even know any other word than to describe it. Other than
After the pregnancy, Alex was like,
intensity.
I had no idea. I did not think it was going to be that bad.
Yeah, and I still don't know if it was. I'm sure it's just as intense for every single woman, no matter how natural or fast or whatever, but I still don't know if it's because the baby wasn't ready to come because I was induced and they broke my water and they used Pitocin and, you know.
Yeah, you were so awesome, babe.
Either way, I'm sure no matter how you do it, it's gnarly.
You kicked butt.
Yeah. Thank you.
You made it look easy.
Come show
Yeah.
Give him a little piece of his little baby.
Look at that handsome dude.
He's pretty freaking cute. He's got some curls going on. I'm just